to another exciting episode of the Ungrownups video transmission. I'm your host Mark, and today we're going to be taking a look at the long-awaited Dark Knight Rises Bane, the Hot Toys MMS 183. Now, I say he's long-awaited because, we're only, we're in March of 2013 when this figure comes out, and we're only a few short months away from, the film being out a year. And even, it'll even be greater a wait for Catwoman, who's not scheduled to come out until May, I think. So, we should have had this figure a long time ago, but, we finally got him. And he is such an awesome, awesome figure. And, starting off looking at the box, I gotta tell you, I really do wish that Hot Toys would have chosen a different picture of Bane for the front cover. I mean, his head looks great, the mask and his face looks awesome, but you can see they've got him pictured in the black leather jacket that he wore, sort of like this bomber-looking jacket that he wore in several scenes in the movie, most notably in the heist, the takeover of the stock exchange. I really do wish this jacket had been included along with the black T-shirt he wore in the opening prologue scene in the plane, but as it were, they didn't give it to us, and they chose to take a picture of him, and this is kind of like poured salt on the wound here. At least give us a picture of just him in the vest, or maybe the leather coat. I'm not sure about that, but I wish another photo had been taken or chosen. I love the huge typography. I just think that's awesome. Being a designer, and big typography always catches my attention. I dig it. But I got to tell you, I'm not really happy with this box overall, and for no other reason than I really don't think the design of this box kind of speaks to Bane. Turning around here on the side, you can see some sharp lines in here with some gold inlay on the box. This, to me, looks like more along something we would get with Batman. I mean, it really kind of mimics his color with, almost the gold belt area right here. You got some rain detail on the side. And then over here, on the photograph part, there's a little texture. It sounds completely different. And so that's kind of cool. I like that. But really with Bane, what I'm wanting is something, that's kind of gritty and sort of destroyed. And, we're getting a little bit of that in the photography. But I really wish that they would have treated this box more like the DX12 Batman, Dark Knight Rises Batman box. And I know that's a DX box and it gets all the bells and whistles, and this is just a shoebox. But I really do wish that, Bane's was more that snow-covered, cracked concrete kind of look. But as it is, it's, pretty standard box past that. Let me see if I can get the front of this off. Let's see if I can do this without knocking a light off. So you do get a little bit of that grittiness on the inside, kind of guerrilla-style design on the inside. You've got the Bane picture with the bat symbol in the face, sort of like from the IMAX poster. It looks like I got some fingerprints on there. Or no, that's not even me. That's not mine. Huh? That's weird. I don't know what that is. But you got the obligatory, let the games begin. Which is kind of cool, and I promise not to keep doing that throughout the whole entire review. And letting that down a little bit, you can see Bane right inside. So let's get this guy opened up and take a closer look. Okay, so here we have Bane opened up and out of the package, and I gotta tell you, like right off the bat, Bane comes with one of the absolute best bases for an MMS release. I mean, the base is almost DX level quality. And we'll take a closer look at that here in a minute when we look at the accessories. But just an overall shot of what you get out of the package. You do get his leather jacket. It comes on a cardboard back inside of a bag, as you can see. You also get, that is the brown, I know it kind of looks black on this, in this video, but that is the brown long sleeve wool type material sweater that he wears that you see towards the end of the film. Like in the final battle scene. He comes with 6 pairs of hands. You get 2 fists. You get 2 sort of menacing kind of, grabbing kind of hands. And, of course, your standard 2 relaxed palms, which I think every one of us now probably has 30 pairs of these things. And we just kind of throw them back in the box. You also get Batman's broken mask, which is a very nice accessory for them to include. And you get 2 gauntlets. One is for when the figure is like it is now with the fist. It has no thumb hole. That one comes with, and you can see it right there on top, a little bitty hole for the thumb to kind of poke through whenever you use the grasping hand. So, alright, so let's take a closer look at all the accessories that come with Bane, and then we'll take a closer look at Bane himself. Okay, so here's a look at all the accessories that comes with Bane, and just because it's so big and didn't want to keep it in frame, here is a closer look at the base with the stand removed. As you can see, it is a very thin, and I don't know how well you can see this, but trying to press on it, it is kind of thin because of all the holes that are in it. It's not the sturdiest of bases. But as you can see, it's got a very nice rust paint job to it that is in spots reflective, and of course you can see the broken Batman logo there, little nameplate on the front. I haven't pulled the plastic off yet, but it says Bane, kind of your standard nameplate. You can see the paint is reflective in some spots, and one of the things, and you can see it like when I do this, you can see where it's been flecked with some sort of varnish here and there to make it look like water drops. This is the same technique they used on Batman's mask. You can see it on this side. So it really shows up, and you can see it on the logo right there. It looks really nice. It's a really nice effect. It looks great in person, however well it's coming across on camera. So setting that off to the side, here are the various hands, and one of the things I like to do, until Hot Toys gives us a tool to easily remove hand pegs from hands, I always take my extra hand pegs that I'm given, and I kind of just plug them into the hands I'm going to use, so that it's just so much easier to swap them. Because I've tried using my teeth before, and I've broken a tooth doing this. It's crazy. So never again. I try not to ever use my teeth, or they need to provide us with a tool. That would be most helpful. But again, the two relaxed hands, I never use those. They just kind of stay in the box. But as you can see, you've got two of the exact same sort of, grabbing, ready for combat kind of hands that I think are really nice. These are actually the ones that that pretty much stay on my figure all the time. And then you've got two fists, which look really nice. Both look great. Here you have the two gauntlets, and with the exception of the thumb hole on the other one, as you can see it laying over there, they are identical. And let me give you a little word of warning, because this is something that I actually did, and I actually did it with this gauntlet here. I did not read the instructions before playing with this thing. And as you can see right here on the side, it sort of looks like this is Velcro. It's got a very, very nice tooth and texture to it, as you can hear. And those are indeed real buckles. So I assumed that these straps were Velcro, that you could easily, Velcro off, adjust, put the hand in, put the Velcro back. So I lifted off the first one, which was pretty easy. It just kind of peeled right off, no problem. And I was like, okay, it is Velcro. I laid it back down and it didn't stick. And I was like, not a good sign. So then I sort of tried to force these last two up, and they were glued down pretty heavily. And that's when I realized you are not supposed to remove these straps on either one of the gauntlets. They are both, even though they look like you can remove them, they are indeed glued down. So do not be an idiot like me and force them off. They are meant to stay down. They are glued down. I did have to glue this one back down, and it looks fine. So how do you get the thumb in there? How do you get the hand in there? Well, I'll show you. And had I read the instructions in the first place, I would have found this out. So what you do is, like I said, I leave the little hand peg on. I just fold the hand peg down, and I come through here, and I put the thumb through the thumb hole. And this is exactly how they tell you to do in the instructions. So thread the thumb through, and then I just push the hand in, like so. And then I sort of come around here to the side, and I feel where the thumb peg is, and I kind of just press it up into a straight position. And then this is how you put the hand on his arm. You just thread his arm through, and affix the hand peg to the arm. So that's how that works, and that's the way you should do it, and that's the way the instructions tell you to do it, and always read those instructions because they know what's going on. Here is the Batman mask that is broken. It's a pretty sturdy piece of plastic here at the thickest part, but you can see that the ear's got some bend to it, and of course the bottom mouthpiece. I have not broken out my Bruce Wayne head from the DX12 Batman to see if this fits on him nicely. I should probably do that. I should probably go get that head out and look at it real quickly in this video, because I haven't seen anybody else do that yet, so that'd be kind of neat to see how well it fits. But same thing with the... Oh, and I have the autofocus off, I'm sorry. So if I turn it a little bit, you can see it's got that same sort of flecked varnish that mimics the wetness from water drops from their battle. So that's really cool, really nice effect that they included. Now, everybody seems to think that this is the black t-shirt that he wore in the beginning of the film, and it is indeed not. You can pretend that it is and put it on him and not put anything else on him, but it's going to look really weird because that shirt, as everybody remembers, was extremely tight, very form-fitting, and this is not. This is very loose, and it's meant to be very baggy because this is very reminiscent of the sweater he wore at the end of the film in the final battle. Now, you can get, there are two different t-shirts that you can order or get off of eBay. Well, one right now and one upcoming. If you go to, and you don't even have to get it off eBay, if you go to Interbay, which is, you know, Hot Toys' main competitor, if you go to Interbay's website, which I believe is just interbay.com, and go into their products or their catalog, and you'll see that they have an outfit for, I believe it is the Jason Bourne figure. And they don't call him the Jason Bourne. I think they call it Spy costume or something like that. But it comes with like a leather jacket and black pants. It comes with a very nice black t-shirt, long sleeve black t-shirt, and it fits Bane perfectly. I have a really good friend of mine that I keep up with on Facebook, who is an avid Hot Toys collector as well, and that's what he's done with his Bane, and it looks fantastic. He's also let me know, because he's been on the hunt for these shirts for quite a while, that you can also wait for the Hot Toys Barry Ross figure, the new Barney Ross, sorry, I'm not an Expendables fan, Barney Ross figure, the Sly Stallone figure, who is going to be coming with a long sleeve, form-fitting black t-shirt. That also will work, and as soon as that figure's released, those shirts will probably start popping up on eBay, and you can snag one up pretty cheaply. So, I am actually going to be doing that. I'm going to be tracking down some form of long sleeve black t-shirt to fit, because I really like that look for Bane. Also, I have found a jacket that seems very similar to the jacket he wore, the black leather jacket. I'm not sure what the name of the company is, but I found it on eBay, and I'm just waiting to try to catch it at a really good price, because right now that jacket runs about $65, and I just cannot bring myself to pay that for a 1/6 scale jacket. I don't even know if I'd pay $65 for a jacket for myself, let alone for a figure. But if you go on eBay and do a search for 1/6 scale, I believe it's called Trailmaster. It's either Trailmaster or Trackmaster jacket. I believe a third-party company made this jacket for a custom Will Smith figure from I Am Legend. Maybe you look for that I Am Legend jacket, and that may return it. I missed one at about $40. I would have picked it up at that price, but now that it's gone up to about $65, I won't be picking it up. So, and the accessory of choice is, of course, the leather jacket. This is like the main accessory for Bane, and it just looks absolutely fantastic. I mean, you can hear people gushing about this every single time you watch a review for this figure, and rightly so. You've got this very nice material on the inside that looks like lamb's wool. Of course, it is not, but it looks very, very, very close to what he had in the film, and just the stitching and tailoring on the jacket is just unreal. I know that it's pleather, but it's very soft and pliable. It feels very much like leather, and I'm hoping it's coming across well on camera, but it is very weathered. It looks adequately weathered. So this is by far the accessory of choice. You know, we're going to be looking at Bane more closely, and we're going to be looking at him in all of his various costumes. I am going to remove the vest several times. Ugh. So, that being said, the two accessories you will probably need most that do not come with Bane is 2 pairs of these bad boys. Because this is the only way you're going to be able to get his vest on and off several times and not lose your mind. So, let's take a closer look at Bane. Okay, just taking a look at the overall, you know, figure of Bane. I can tell you that Bane was a figure that I've sort of been kind of cautious about. I knew that I wanted him. I pre-ordered him as soon as I could, and I've had him on pre-order for probably 9-10 months now, and could not wait to get my hands on this figure. But at the same time, I was really cautious. I was really nervous mainly because of the arms. Even from the very first prototype figures or prototype shots we saw of this figure, his arms have never really set well with me, as I'm sure it's, you know, been the case with several others. For several reasons, his arms have just never really looked big enough to me. He doesn't seem to have the sort of weight and stoutness, portliness of I don't know if portly is the right word, but just the stoutness and sturdiness of Tom Hardy's Bane. So that's always kind of bothered me. I hate how visible the elbow joints actually are. You know, comparing this to the last figure I reviewed, which was Hawkeye, Hawkeye's arms looked much better, I think. Not really size-wise, but just the way the joints were sort of hidden. They didn't look as noticeable, especially, you know, in the front. The back, not so much. The back's not so bad. But I got to tell you, you know, now that I've gotten the figure in hand, and we'll pull in closer here in a minute and look. But his arms, for me, I'm pretty happy with the size of his arms now that I've gotten him in hand. He does really look bigger and bulkier. I kept thinking, why didn't they put Thor's arms? You know, the new Thor that's coming out looks like he's got enormous cannons underneath that armor, and I kept thinking, why didn't they just use that shoulder piece, that bicep piece? And I'm pretty sure they did. These arms are much bigger in person than they are in the shots. The other thing that I was really concerned about was his pants, because in all these shots, and you can see when it comes packaged in the package, in the box, you can see that his pants are really tight towards the bottom. It almost looks like he's got on skinny jeans down here at the bottom. They're really tight, and they're very, very much like tucked and packed into the top of his boots very tightly. And of course, you know, from the film, he bloused his trousers over the top of his boots pretty heavily. I mean, they hung out quite a bit on each side. So that was another thing that I was really concerned with was, you know, will his pants actually do that? Will they come out enough to be able to blouse? And they actually do. So let me do that real quick, and I'm going to show you how I have him on my stand. Okay, so you know what I did is I just took a pair of tweezers and I just started like pulling the pants leg up out of the boot. The pants leg comes down to right about here. You know, it's long enough just to tuck down in a good probably ½ inch, maybe, I don't know, maybe 1/4 inch down into the top of the boot. And so I just pulled it out all the way, and then I just started like tucking it in where I could. One of the problems with blousing the pants is this zipper, which I think is a real zipper, maybe, like right down on the inside of each one of these legs. And you can see that he's got this little flap of material that kind of covers it up, and that material likes to buckle. It likes to bunch up, and so that kind of makes it a little difficult to you know, sort of blouse the material around the top of the boot. But I don't know, for me, it adds a little extra. It just makes his legs not look so small and so thin. I wish they were a little looser material, especially on his calves, so that it could blouse and bunch up even more. But, you know, I have no plans of buying extra pants, you know, different pair of pants off of eBay or anything like that, because, I mean, these are so perfect with the knee pads. And, of course, in the film, the knee pads actually hung down much lower than his actual knees. They were just, I think the pants on the figure actually fit the figure better than the pants Tom Hardy wore in the film. So I wish they were a little looser and drooped and sagged a little a little more, but that's just for me. So as you can see, lots of people complain about the vest. I'm not sure why. I think the colors are spot on. I think it looks great. There's significant weathering on the padding on all the different parts, and we're going to take a closer look at that. So why don't we do that now? Okay, so as you can see, crazy amounts of detail in this vest. I'm hoping that the weathering on the leather parts on the padding is coming across, because it's there and it looks fantastic. As you can see, the vest actually operates in the way this vest would in reality, with the front parts sort of coming around, the sides being strung together with the back part, which you can see underneath his arms, and you can see how it connects with the waist belt that goes all the way around. You can actually even see his little fatigues belt underneath. I'm sorry if I call these things the wrong thing. I've never been in the military. I don't know the technical terms these things are. Flipping around here on the back, you can see, the lumbar support in the back of this waist belt. Here, you can see where all the strings kind of go through around the vest. And people have wondered, how this actually works as far as, taking this off. And there's actually snaps underneath here. So there's 2 on this side, top and bottom, 2 on this side, top and bottom. So that's how that works. And we'll look at this when we get this off, but you can see part of the scar right there. And just looking at the head sculpt, to let you guys, one of the other things I was kind of worried about was the color of his mask, particularly the rubber parts on the side and on the top. And in a lot of videos it comes across kind of bluish. I think right here it looks kind of bluish, and in some videos it's looked kind of like a light gray color. For me, I will tell you that it is not as dark as I would like it to be. In the film, it looked black. I don't care what the actual color of the prop was. I don't care if the prop was actually a charcoal or a dark gray. But, once it was shot and lit, and, the color timing they do in post, with everything, for all intents and purposes, on screen, it was black. And I wish this was black. I wish that it was black. I wish that it was not this kind of dark gray, kind of bluish charcoal color that it actually is. I say bluish, it really doesn't have, in person, that blue of a tint. And, when I get out from underneath these, these stark, sort of fluorescent bulbs here, it's really not this bright. On my shelf, it basically looks a really, really, really dark gray. So, I don't want that to sort of, I kind of want to put that out there for people who may be on the fence about the mask. As you can see here, it is under bright fluorescent lighting, it is a lighter color. But plastic picks up, light and color around it and reflects it in weird ways. So, it does kind of look a little brighter and a little lighter than it actually is in person. But, getting past that, the tubing and the detail on the front of the mask is absolutely ridiculous. It's amazing how, with an entire face that we get, all of the time with Hot Toys figures, people can say, oh, that figure really doesn't look like Harrison Ford, or that figure really doesn't look like, Chris Evans, or whatever. When they have an entire face to work with, it is ridiculous how you can see that is Tom Hardy, and all they had to work with was his eyes. I mean, it's fantastic. That looks like Tom Hardy all day long, and that all you're working with is a pair of eyes. That's absolutely ridiculous. It's crazy. The detail you can see on the side here, on the side of the head, you can see the vein work. That's not paint apps. That's actually sculpted and molded onto the head, which is ridiculously awesome. You can see it on this side as well. Just looks fantastic. And I do kind of hear the complaint that the top of the mask between the eyes, the bridge of the nose, is pushed in too far. Because as it stands right here, and you can see, it looks like he doesn't have a nose. That's a very valid complaint. It looks like that area is pushed in too far, specifically right there. Maybe this is after Batman's punched him in the face several times. I'm not sure. But whatever the case is, the head sculpt is fantastic. I love that, if you can see underneath, that the mask does not, the break point for the head sculpt where it attaches to the neck is not at the mask. It actually has some skin and bottom jaw underneath there a little bit, but rarely is that even visible. It just looks fantastic. And to reiterate what's in the instructions, no, the mask is not removable, and no, there is not a clear Tom Hardy head underneath. That would be fantastic, but that's a wish list. So, and, you know, while we have it in this position, you can see the arms here a little bit better. You can see how adequately muscular they are. I think that pictures really don't do it justice until you really get it in hand and see it for yourself. And notice exactly how large his arms actually are. So, was a big point of contention for me. I'm actually come around on it, actually having the figure in hand. So, let's see if we can get this guy into some of his other clothes before running him through the paces with the montage. Okay, real quick before we get this vest off and fiddle with that for the next few hours. I just wanted to show him in his coat, and we're gonna do the standard montage of poses at the end. So that's still coming. I just wanted to kind of show off how he looked with the coat on, and far be it from me to tell people how to display their own figures. Do what you want. I mean, you pay so much money for these figures. Don't listen to me. But I've seen a lot of reviews where people have his collar like laid down. Like that. I've seen a lot of photographs of him with the collar. It's cool that it does lay down, but, he never wore his jacket like that in the film. It was always bunched up and pulled up around his, around his ears. Presumably, I guess, to keep his bald head warm. I don't know. But, he certainly kept keeping his ears warm with that mask on. But I just wanted to show how well it fits and how well it looks on. And one thing of note, again, your mileage may vary and you do what you want. But, for me, there's so much tight stitching around the cuffs on the insides of the jacket. I find it easier to take the hands both off, put the jacket on, and then pop the hands back on once the jacket's on. I just find that easiest. And you absolutely have to do that with the larger, more open hands because they're just so wide they won't fit through. So, little word of warning, do what you want. So, let's get this vest off and check him out. Okay, you guys know how I like to end these videos, and that's with how this guy is actually going to be displayed in my cabinet. And I think this is what I'm going to go with. The final battle, ready to go, taking it to Batman. You know, one fist ready to go, other hand ready to go. And if you notice, he does indeed have his gauntlet on. You can somewhat get that jacket sleeve over that gauntlet. It's going to take a lot of patience, a lot of fiddling, and 2 pairs of tweezers. So it's not for the faint of heart, but it can be done. It is possible, but you are running the risk of damaging the thread inside the lining of the cuff of the jacket, and you run the risk of popping those straps off, which we've already talked about. So I think that's going to about wrap it up for Bane. He's going to be a nice addition to my my Batman Dark Knight Rises shelf, and I can't wait to get Catwoman in. So, you know, that's going to wrap it up. So, as always, we're going to ask if you dug the video to please like, comment, or subscribe. And be sure to join in the conversation where we're doing all of our updates pretty much, you know, hourly. And that's over at facebook.com/ungrownups. And be sure to check out our podcast, which is new every 2 weeks. You can stream it right off ungrownups.com, or you can download it to the player of your choice from iTunes. And for me and Bane, I think it's going to about do it. So, until next time, peace.